Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Sunday afternoon. Spurs losing 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace. Talking about the game, talking about really a few things from the game. Obviously, want to talk about the Dejan Kulusevski injury scare as well. So we'll talk about that. And to be honest, I'm going to put it out there early doors. When I talk about, this is a great opportunity for players to build confidence, build form, to, try and fight for a starting berth not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after, sorry, really wasn't the performance that you'd be hoping for. Now, one thing I would say is winning, losing, or drawing today really didn't change our season, right? Did it? Like, we can put it out there. You're not a bad fan for thinking as such, and I guarantee I'll get comments going, "Oh, we've lost X amount of games this season," and "Oh, it's this, it's that, it's the other," and it's the same rhetoric, and it's extremely boring and super irrelevant. I can't lie. If you're one of those people that does harp on the X amount of defeats you've had this season, it is a bit irrelevant because the whole thing was always Ange would see out the European season. He would then get to the summer, they would review. So you harping on about a defeat really doesn't change anything. It doesn't do anything. My whole thing was this game was an opportunity for players to step up. It was an opportunity for players to get some fitness, get some match sharpness. And, there was obviously expecting of a few first teamers to feature today. Matisse Tell's obviously been quite a big feature. He was obviously getting some more minutes. Bentancur started the game, more minutes. Pedro Porro started the game, more minutes. That's probably the last time we'll see those players now. You might see Bentancur on the bench thinking about it, but for the most part, that's the last time you will see these players, most likely until Bilbao. You might see Tell, but Bentancur and Porro most likely are done now till Bilbao. Okay, so there is that. Obviously, good to see Heung-Min Son coming off the bench and getting minutes. I mean, for the chatter about he might just about make the final, and for the fact that he is obviously he's obviously I've just completely forgotten who I was talking about there, so apologies. But look, in real honesty, in terms of what we're getting from this game, we got some positives out of it. We did. I know some people might think. People might think it wasn't that, but it was that. It was obviously big in terms of Son getting minutes. That's going to be crucial going into not the next Wednesday, the Wednesday following. It's 10 days' time, isn't it? 21st of May is the final. So 10 days' time, you're getting Son some minutes today. I think it's massive, going forward. Going into next Friday, will we see some more Son? I would probably say we might get a few minutes again of Son. Nothing too mental, but again, it's knocking off more rust and getting more match fitness and match sharpness into those legs. So that's again important. Obviously, it's always nice to see academy guys like Mikey Moore and things like that. What probably didn't help is that Kulusevski gets injured. That's not going to help. We lost a lot of creativity there. You could tell. And it's definitely something that you look at in the summer. And this is regardless if you're Ange or Ange out. And if you are either one of those things and you want to tell me either one of those things, I don't really care. I think one key thing that we can all agree on is come summertime, they really need to address some playmaking in the midfield. It's behind those two, Bergval feels a bit more of an 8 than he does a 10. So behind the Maddison and Kulu, it is a problem. They both miss time every season. It's something that they might need to consider. Got too many sort of similar number 8s-ish players than we do actually those 10. So that will need to be happy. That will need to be looked at. Obviously, we'll wait and see what Ange says about Kulu. I think you'll know more about his injury situation in the coming days. Like, don't get yourself bent out of shape about it right now. I know as fans of football clubs, we get angry over the smallest of things, and we get worried about the smallest of things. We get pessimistic about the smallest things. One of these ones is one of those. Is like I'm just like just wait. You'll know about you'll know what the situation is come probably the next couple of days. Ange might say something after the game, but in all honesty, you'll know more about once the healing is started and things like that. The game though in itself, obviously, yeah, it was naff. I mean, you look at the stats. 8 shots, one on target for Spurs. Palace had 23 and 10. They had 53% possession to our 47, and 8 corners to our 4. Um, One thing I think a lot of people have completely just glossed over, because again, the issue that you find with some fans, they're very reactive. They're very active. They don't think beyond what they're saying, right? And it's something we do as humans. We all do it, and it's common. What I would say is, what did you expect when you're going to make that many changes? I mean, let's tell you the team today. Kinski in goal, that's one change. Jed Spence at left back, that's another change. Davies, change. Danso, change. Archie Gray, change. Pape Matsar, change. Odebear, change. And we'll say Tell, change. In reality, Kulu, Bentancur, and Porro are the only 3 that stayed in that team. And even then, Kulu had to change position. You're making 8 changes to a team, including a goalkeeper, your 2 centre backs. Your front 3 is completely changed as well. None of us should have expected anything amazing from that. And if you do, I love your confidence and I love your positivity. One thing I would say is I think you might be missing the boat on this one. This isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. It doesn't work like that. One thing we could all agree on, though, is it felt like at times there was a lack of effort. It felt at times that we were going through the motions a little bit. It's like these players feel like, oh, we're the players that aren't going to play in the final, so why do we bother, sort of thing at times. And I know then some people go, well, Crystal Palace have a final next weekend. Why were they no different? And it was, well, they were playing their starting 11. They play once a week. They don't have injuries. We already are missing multiple players. We're missing 2/3 of our starting midfield. You're missing a centre back who will be playing today in Radu Dragicin. Kulusevski then gets injured. It's not easy. But yeah, their team was exactly what you would expect from their starting 11. Yeah, it's literally their starting 11. So they're gonna be a little bit smoother. So that's just normal. It is just normal. I know people hate that, and I know people get angry about that, but it is just the way of the land. If we hadn't made any changes and they made 9, yeah, we would look miles better and they would look a lot worse. And that's kind of the way it is. Let's be real. Ange is going for the trophy. That's what he's doing, right? As fans for a long time, we've said, oh, yeah, we would take 17th in the trophy. Okay. So when he delivers 17th in the trophy, what will you say? Well, I want to finish higher in the league. It's like, well, you can't win everything, Chief. You can't. You know, I'm not, I'm just not as bothered about the result. I'm bothered about what I saw, absolutely. But the result in itself, I'm just not that bothered. Um, and that's not making me a bad fan. It doesn't make you a bad fan if you do care about the result, by the way. Like, I will say that you're allowed to care about the result, absolutely. Winning the game would have been nice, but winning, drawing, or losing really doesn't change the season. What it would have been nice is better quality of performance. That would have been nice. When I talk about it's an opportunity for players to step up, get minutes, and get quality minutes, but also to build some form and momentum. That's what would have been nice today. And I don't think anyone's coming out of that game having built any form or any momentum. None of them. Yeah, I think looking at that game today as well, like I'm also not gonna shoot people in terms of some of these players that maybe, they're not playing in a regular 11 that they normally would. And, maybe chemistry's not there. I get that. But, the whole thing, when you play Sunday league football, the whole thing is always if it's not going your way and you're not playing well, what's the one thing that you do? You run around, you make yourself a nuisance. It's always what we've been told as children, right? Yeah, it felt a little bit lazy today. It did. We felt a little bit like we were 2-3% off the pace, and that's all it is in Premier League football. If you are 2-3% off the pace, you are. It's no, sorry, it is massively noticeable, and that's what it was today. It was massively noticeable. Um, you'll get people telling you the world is burning and crashing and ending because we lost the game today. It really doesn't change anything. Wednesday week is the season. The idea of ironically, we all sat there before the game today. We all sat there and we all would have said, get through these next two games. Don't pick up any injuries. Get some good minutes from some people. A couple of good performances, and if we get some results, we get some results. That's what we all would have said. So look, obviously, be unhappy about the result. Be unhappy about the result if you want to be. Nothing wrong with that. Be unhappy about the performance. I am not thrilled about the performance. Not at all. Nobody played well. And I know, by the way, I'm going to say this as well because it's relentless and it's extremely boring to hear. Mikey Moore didn't play well today. I'm going to say it there. And I know he is the prodigal son, but you're allowed to say a player's not playing well. And yes, he is behind Tell and he is behind Oda Bear. There's a reason for that right now. Can he overtake them? Absolutely. But I want to put it out there because basically people don't stop talking about Mikey Moore like he is prime Lionel Messi, and it kind of does my head in a little bit. So that's why he's not starting. Now, will he start next Friday? He probably will, yes. Because Spurs are probably going, look, we've got the worst luck in the world. We're cursed by the football gods that one of our players sneezes funny and it'll pull us back. We're not risking any big names next Friday. And I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs don't risk any names next Friday. Um, yeah. Looking at Manchester United, by the way, they lost, I think, today. They lost, I think Lenny Euro got injured as well, one of their centre backs. That's their starting centre back. He's out potentially. He went straight down the tunnel. Obviously, still 10 days to the final, so we'll sort of see what happens from that. Yeah, they lost 2-0 at home to West Ham. My goodness. So look, I mean, looking at their team, Bayinda started. Mazraoui's starting full. He's normally a starting wing back, isn't he? Mazraoui. He started with Lenny Yoro and Luke Shaw. So Luke Shaw getting minutes for them. That's quite big. Agate and Bruno Fernandes started. They're starting players. Mainu started. Diallo started. Mount started. Hoyland started. So yeah, quite a few first teamers started for them, but also got some good minutes into others. There's always the risk that you play, isn't it, when it comes to having to get minutes into players that you want to try and stay sharp. Just seeing when Lenny Yoro went off injured, 52nd minute, and then Maguire came on. Okay, so look, there is that sort of thing. To be honest, we'll sort of see what happens with him, and we'll sort of see with Kulu as well. Like I'm not going to get bent out of shape on Kulu right this second until I get told, hey, be bent out of shape about it. Just want to see if there's anything out of the game yet today. Ange has said on Kulu that he should be okay. Just talking to him after, the medical team are not too concerned about him. It was just a knock. Okay. A little bit of good news. A little bit of good news that Kulu should be all right. I think it was a great opportunity today to get some more sharpness into him. Sadly, that didn't happen. But look, nothing, if you take nothing positive from the game, say, you can categorically take this one positive that Kulu isn't injured. I know there'll be some people that won't take that as a positive, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So look, it was good for that. By the way, I have been reading your comments as you've been talking. You've probably noticed that, like, when you do comment, I will start to incorporate sometimes some things that you say into what I'm about to say. So you'll probably notice that, oh, I'm not responding directly, but I'm basically indirectly responding to it. Um, yeah, it was precautionary. Jazz knew it. Yeah, just a knock. So there you go. Good news on Kulu. Expect a little more structure and some more desire from the players. Definitely desire. Definitely desire. Spence, I don't know what's happened there. Don't know what's happened there. He's been struggling recently. Not too sure why. Not too sure why, but he has been struggling recently, and maybe that is down to the wholesale changes that he comes into a team where you're making 7, 8 plus changes. That okay, performances aren't going to be great, but defensively struggled today in duels and things like that. So it was a bit of a noticeable thing for me today. Yeah, I think Davey struggled again today. Could we decide Chelsea season will be there? Annie, I don't care about today. I'm only interested in A, is Kulu okay? And B, getting minutes in Son. And C, beating United. I don't mind Palace. They're a good team. Well, look, A, Kulu is okay. B, Son did get some minutes. Just bear with me. I want to see how many minutes exactly Heung-Min Son got. He got about half an hour. Okay, so 35, about half an hour, 35 minutes. I think I don't think any of us would have thought Son was going to be brilliant today, but he got some minutes, and that's all I'm happy about, to be honest. And it will benefit us going forwards. I can't repeat your first word, Stuart, because it's a swear word. But Europa Cup or not, Ange has been off on May 22nd. What a horrific manager! It's actually embarrassing now. Okay. I hope Kula's okay, but Yoro is definitely injured. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I wasn't watching the Man United game, so I was watching the Forest Leicester game, which was bonkers. As well as Spurs, obviously, before someone cries about that. I don't know what happened to him. Who cares about the league at this point? It's for getting more minutes. Getting more minutes. Sorry, there you go. That's the positive for me. No, obviously good to see Mikey, and I expect Mikey to play next Friday. So we play again next Friday against Aston Villa away. I'd expect to see Mikey. I could probably predict the team now. Kinski in goal, Gray at right back, Danso Davies, Spence, Basuma Sarr. Oh, that midfield's a question because I don't know if he'll do. He might play Kulu for 45 if he was all right, but he might play someone else more. Maybe plays Odebear centrally. I don't know, but and then Tell. Would he give minutes to Richie? Tell more, but would he give minutes to Richie? Maybe. That's kind of my thinking. Yeah, the team's going to be weak next Friday, and obviously you're going to get Spurs fans who are going to cry that Spurs won't win that game, and you know what it's like. It's Spurs make 10 changes from their starting 11 team. Oh my god, I hate Ange. Okay, we get it. We get it. You don't have to say it. Jesus Christ. That's going to trigger someone, by the way. You know someone's going to nibble on that. But yeah, looking ahead, Man United and Spurs are doing the exact same things. They are giving some minutes to some starters. For them, Mazraoui, Yoro, Agate, Fernandez. Diallo was injured, but he is he was been probably the best player this season. Mainu as well could be a starter unless they go Casemiro, and Hoyland's their starting number 9. So they played a lot of starters in this game. I thought Spurs would do something similar. We didn't. We made a lot more changes. Only 3 players are really starting from the midweek game, one of which has changed position completely. So 2 players really, and then you're rotating the others out. They played a little bit more of a stronger side and lost 2-0 at home to West Ham, who, when we played them, they weren't very good. And we played a really naff side against them. Also, should have bought Eze in the summer, shouldn't you? Haskell turned to find a worst season, worst coach team ever. Okay, Mauler. Context really does kind of just goes way over some people's heads. Oh, it's like we lost all these games. Okay, what happened in the season? Don't know. We lost all these games. Anything happened this season? Don't know. We lost all these games. I get it, but the moaning doesn't change anything. The whole idea is you get to the summer, you review it in the summer. You know, more. I'm not saying you're wrong, mate. By the way, don't get yourself triggered. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is it's just super boring, unfortunately, mate. And it's not just on you, it's on a lot of people. It is super boring. He's getting Europe, they review it in the summer. That's why don't get yourself wind up. Don't get yourself annoyed by things right now because it just doesn't change anything. And it will end up ruining your Sunday. It's a great day outside. Try and enjoy the good weather. It's a good day today. Spurs losing, drawing or winning, it really wouldn't have changed much for you, mate. Sean, how are you? I'm off to Seoul for the day. Oh, nice. You know what I mean. I need a trophy. I need my boy hasn't seen us win anything. He's beginning to lose the faith. Please let's beat United and always forgiven. Yeah, Glenn, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. I mean, look, Lenny Euro being injured is a big one because then their back three. I don't think they'd play a Diallo in a back three. Not in the back three, but the wing back position. I still think they would go Mazraoui and Dorgu, and maybe they'd go Shaw as a left centre back if he was fit. Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof. Is De Ligt back? I didn't even look at their bench. Is Matthias De Ligt injured? Okay, he wasn't on the bench. And they had Lindelof and Maguire on the bench. Can someone tell me if De Ligt's injured? I don't actually know. De Ligt's done his hammy. Oh, okay. Right. Well, look, if their back three is Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, that's massive. Euro obviously is a much more athletic centre back, and that's a game changer for us. That'll be a game changer for us if they're going to be out of De Ligt, who isn't the most athletic of centre backs, but is fairly athletic. The issue is I looked at Mickey van der Ven just strolling past him, and that's kind of an issue. But to play Maguire, Lindelof, and Shaw at the back is a weaker back line for sure. So there is that. Martinez, ACL. I think it was an ACL that he was done. The league has, yeah. Bergvall and Matters are huge. Dom and Richie up front clearly is the way to go, as this game is shown. We need to abandon playing through midfield and focus on being more direct. Well, I think we recently had a little bit of success with balls over the top and behind for like Solanke to run onto. So it pulls the centre back out of position. It frees you up a ton of space. And the idea is you get a runner like a doggy, or for example, to run into that space. So, yeah, like I said, if you look at that team today, how many of them are going to start Wednesday week? 3 of them. And 2 of them in the positions they were today. The other one would be moved into a different position, into a more natural position. But Vic there, Destiny, Mickey, Kuti, you'd expect Biss to probably start. You'd probably expect Biss to start in that game. Jono, Richie, and Solanke right now. That's how many players that would come back into that team. So next Friday, I'm going to put it out there early doors. There's however many of you watching right now, 40 odd. I'm going to put it out there early doors. We will not win next Friday. We won't. Aston Villa are chasing they're chasing Champions League football again. We will not win next Friday. We will play a similar team that we did today next Friday. Maybe we might even rotate a couple more players that starters out, like Porro and Bentancur. So be prepared for that. Just be prepared for that. So if you're wound up and angry about today, probably not going to change very much next Friday when they're all out for it. We won't be. So just saying on that side of things, all right? Because I know some people will take us like losing to Aston Villa like it's gospel and it's the worst thing on earth. I just want to put it out early doors. the Aston Villa game really is just kind of in the way. You know what I mean? Lowest show in the Europa League and what we show in the Prem is a big difference. Well, Rec, we play two very different teams in the Europa League and the Premier League, do we not? That team that plays in the Europa League, we did that. We did that stat. We did that stat, didn't we? When that back four plays together, we win like 75% of our games. I'll repeat that. That back four, we win 75% of our games. We lose one in every seven. That is elite. So look, that's why I'm saying whenever we like talk about form going into when we talk about form going into those Europa League games, it's like it's hard to really sort of take much from them when 9 players are going to get rotated out and they're not going to be playing on Thursday. You know, the whole idea that I always talked about is build that confidence, self-confidence, and momentum in your own game and add it to the starting 11 that have played really, really well. You know, we'll lost a lot of money in league position. If we don't win the final, expect someone to be poor. Then the replacement Ange will paying off Ange will cost a bit. Well, maybe so, but we'll have to see. I'm not worried about the league position or anything until the season finishes, and then we'll look at it. I feel like the second string team has to be better than they're currently showing after practicing. Well, no, I mean, look, training together and playing regularly together are two very different things, aren't they? You know, don't break Chelsea's hearts, and I'll break anyone's heart. I don't mind. I'll do them all. As Ange said, no one remembers fifth, but everyone remembers lifting the cup. Exactly. I think we are a little bit too bent out of shape about finishing in the top 6 sometimes. Like it's the be all and end all. Like imagine you finish 11th but you win 2 trophies. That's a brilliant season. Winning a double is a brilliant season. But you'll still get fans go, but we didn't finish in the top 4, so how good could it have been? You know what I mean? So the thing is, you're never gonna make everyone happy. That's all it is. You're never gonna make everyone happy in football. And even me as a YouTube content creator, you're never going to make everyone happy. I've been called and abused and said every name under the sun. I just take no notice of it. I just get on with it. You know, when it comes to having discussions with yourself as a consumer and me as a producer, it's about having, you know, adult like conversations. You make 9 changes today. Did you make 9 changes today? Yeah, we did. You're probably not going to be as good today as you normally are. No. Okay. And that's the kind of thing that you have to recognize. Context is key in life. So that's my thinking when it comes to football and getting bent out of shape and wound up. And, you know, that's the way I am. That is the way I am. So there we go. We might not win the Premier League. We might not win again in the Premier League. Who knows? Be a vibe. That'll wind people up. I've said that just to wind them up. What do you reckon will happen in next year's UEFA Super Cup? I think it'll be us versus PSG. Donna, how are you? Fans are overacting. You can't please everyone. Interesting. Your channel's the best. Appreciate that, Graham. My list of positions Spurs need next left back, 2 midfielders, left wing, right wing, and a backup striker. Well, look. You just wait and see. Wait and see what the summer window brings. Yeah, so what it is 20 games. I think it's like 20 games this season or something. That those the main back four have played together. We've won 15, drawn 2, and lost 3. So when I say, "Hey, we're going into a game," and oh, there's Desi Adogi, and there's Mickey Van der Ven, and there's Christian Romero, and there's Pedro Porro, I go into each of those games and go, "Okay, we've got a really good back line. Let's have it." And lo and behold, when you actually factor in just the last 2 rounds, right? Just the last. My MacBook's giving you balloons. I didn't realize that could do it. The last 2 rounds of the Europa League, Spurs conceded 2 goals in 4 games. Kept a clean sheet in both the away games, which is the irony. They conceded both at home, but the irony, you know. So there is that. Annie, please tell me. I don't understand all the hate. We haven't won anything in decades. Surely we need to beat United by any means necessary. Yeah, look, Man United is obviously the be all and end all of this season. It very much is. It very much is. Excuse me. I told you all the story. The last time we won a trophy, I was 12 years old. Or no, it might have been 11 years old actually. And the time before that, I wasn't even born. That's how dire the situation is. I'm nearly 30. Well, not nearly 30. I'm 30 next year, but you know what I mean. Next birthday is 30. To be honest, it is not easy keeping up with the likes of Newcastle. They're far ahead of us, both in terms of quality and investment, while focused on constructing a hotel. You know that hotel is going to be unreal, though. That will wind up someone that I've said that as well. That will wind. No, he's talking about the hotel. We were missed a doggy yesterday. Look, we changed 8 players today. We missed a bunch of them. What's going on, Spurs? Looked shocking against us last week. Again, this week it's passed. Massive rotation, and Dejan Kulusevski went off injured very early on into the game. So disruption. And then we subbed off our other starters at half time. So we were playing our B/C team. Good win for you, though. He's, by the way, for you watching this back, he's a West Ham fan, but it was a good win for them today, 2-0. And yeah, I know you didn't injure Lenny Yoro, but he got injured in that game. So there's that. We'll win the final. United fans feeling saying we're not alone. Man United should be confident going into a European final against Spurs. Okay, they should be. They have European pedigree. They have won a trophy in Europe more recently than we just won a trophy. Okay, they've been to Champions League finals in that time as well. They've been to Europa League final, in the last 10 years or something like that, wasn't it? 10, 12 years, something like that. So they should be confident in that. They've beaten us in a Carabao Cup final as well in the last, God, I don't know exactly. Is it 08 or 09? It was something like that. So, they should be confident in that. This is a team that won a trophy last season. They won the FA Cup. Now, Spurs should go in with this game with confidence as well, sitting there going, well, we've beaten this team 3 times this season. We were only fit for one of those games, and we destroyed them. Oh, well, that was Ten Hag. Okay, well, then when they've had Amorim, they've lost twice to us, and we scored from a corner in one game. And the only reason why that game was close is because Fraser Forster scored 2 goals for them. So we should be both going into that game confident. Absolutely, we should both go into that game confident. And it's a final. To be honest, it's a final. Do you want it? Yeah, I want it. Okay, well, then you're probably going to be all right in the final. Will I do a special stream at the Spurs hotel? I'm going to get, how they open things? They either get the ribbon and they get scissors, or they get a bottle and they smash it. I'll do both of them at the same time. I'll break the ribbon while smashing the bottle. I'll break the ribbon with the smash bottle. Decky's injury is on Ange. No, it's not on Ange. It is that, if anything, look, you can hate Ange as much as you want. It's not on Ange. An impact injury is not on a manager. Even the most ardent Ange outers would sit there and go, that's a collision injury. You can't do much about that. He's also, like I said, Ange has said they've come out and said he is okay. He will be all right. So don't worry. Are you going to do a live in the lead up to the final analysis live discussion? Yeah, we will be doing a live for the Manchester United. Do you know what? Might do it next week. Might do it next week. Might do a little live look ahead to that Europa League final. And I want to go back and watch them, Man United, in some of the finals they've played in the last sort of 10 years, because they played in a few, how they cope, how they react. I want to do that. Yeah, I might do that next week. I'm going to have to watch Man United games from Jose Mourinho's period. That's something I didn't think I was going to do. We'll win the final, and then always won't be mattered. We'll press the defense, and without your own delete, then they will get found out. That then losing those two is really, really massive, by the way. No Euro and no Delict are 2 massive, massive holes in that back line. There's still some good players in that back line. I like Dorgu. I was one of the Dorgus Biggest fans hoping Spurs would sign him. To be honest, I was just hoping we'd sign a left back, and then we didn't sign him or another left back. So that was fun. Yeah, Mazraoui is a good player as well. So they've got some good players in the back line still. Shaw's coming back. Him fit is still a good player. Maguire seems to have a bit of a turnaround recently. So yeah, it's not losing those two is massive, but it doesn't ruin their chance, if you know what I mean. Potential lineup against United: Vicario, Porro, Romero, Mickey, Destiny, Bentancur, Bissouma, Kulu, Richie, Solanke, Jono. Basically, what you saw Thursday is what you'd seen Wednesday week. Is there the thinking on that? Yeah, the hotel is going to be great, isn't it? I can't wait to open it. I love all football. Manchester United had almost their full squad playing today and really struggled against us today. Man United looked really bad defensively. Well, there you go. That's coming from a West Ham fan. And that's what I said, that they, for the most part, had played the majority of their starters. The others, I think, had come off the bench, like Lindelof and Maguire. Yeah, but then also, for Manchester United as well, I know, like, losing Euro, big loss today. Diallo got minutes. Mainu got minutes. That's big for them. That's two of their better players. That's big for them, Richie Dom and Jono. I don't know if. Well, look, it depends on if Son's 100% or not. But for me, I just love the idea of Heung-Min Son for half an hour off the bench. 60th minute, a few weary legs, and you go, cool, right, Spurs are going to bring on their best attacker now. And Man United going, sorry? Well, that's not normal. Heung-Min Son coming on, that's a huge it's mentally demoralizing for Manchester United, should watch the Villarreal. I will watch the Villarreal game. I remember that. 9 finals last 12 years. Well, I've got a busy few days ahead. United fans say Ahmad is their main threat. He is their main threat. Before the injury, he was their best player this season by a good distance. Obviously, had that big injury. Everyone thought he was done for the season, but had that big injury, you'd now say Bruno is the guy, It'd be fine if both players miss. Well, look, missing Madders and missing Bergvall is big because those guys this season have had success with Manchester United. Watching Casemiro chasing around Lucas Bergvall was something else. So there you go. If they start Maguire, it'll work in our favour. Well, look, they're going to start Lindelof, who's not exactly a athlete, if you know what I mean, like that speedy, athletic centre back, like a Euro or a Delict more so is. Bruno may be the best player. Bruno for them might be their best player. He wouldn't be the best player in my opinion. No, Son versus United. Why? No, my thinking on that is Son might not be fit enough to give you 90 minutes yet. So I'd rather, Richie plays you 50, 60 minutes and then Son comes on. And then you go, right, Mazraoui's a little bit tired. Destiny's having some success down this wing. Bring on Heung-Min Son and just let him run wild for half an hour. That's my thinking with Heung-Min Son. And the other thing with Richie, and I will give kudos to Richie, is that, yes, he struggles with injuries, but defensively, like against both the games in Bodo Glimt, worked so hard defensively. That's the same thing with Sonny, and that's my thinking, And then if you need more, you've got Tell, you've got Odebear that you can bring on and things like that. So for me, I'm just going to be honest. I don't expect to see anyone of any real relevance playing next weekend. No, next weekend. No, yeah, well, next weekend. Friday's the weekend. So next week, I don't expect to see any of them playing there, keeping them for the following Wednesday. So there's that. Pretty sure it was Maguire's error that led to the second goal. I'll have to have a look, mate. Didn't watch the game, so I'll have to have a look. Sky Sports probably put the highlights out now, probably. I'll have to have a look in a minute. I've got YouTube on my PlayStation right this second, ready to watch something after I finish this. Would I start Richie? I would start Richie. I would. I would start Richie. I think him and Adogi have been. That's a little bit of a little combo that's been blossoming recently. I would play Adogi, then overlapping or underlapping with Richie, and they had a lot of success against Bodo Glimt in both those games Those two, especially a doggy. Will they stick Alejandro Garnacho over on Desti Doggy side again? Or will they learn their lesson? We start against United like we did against Bodo. I'm planning to go to the final in the same. Probably not Sunny K. I'm actually thinking instead. Sorry. Do you really want to check? It's 4-3 Barcelona in the El Clasico. I've just been getting updates all day. What is going on? But Real Madrid have scored three. Real Madrid have had 3 shots on target and scored 3. Okay. Sorry, ignore me. Just wanted to check that. No, I'm probably gonna have a bit more of a thing where friends get together, family get together, and maybe watch it at a pub or watch it and have some drinks and food or something like that. I haven't really sort of decided yet. You know, we'll see. We'll see. You know, Man United will crumble under pressure. We hope so. We hope so. Do you think Tell gets some game time in the final? Yes, I think Tell will start next weekend against Aston Villa though, so he won't be starting in the final for me. Barcelona losing. Well, there you go. There you go. But look, thank you so much for joining me this morning, this afternoon. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Obviously, we're back tomorrow to talk more about Tottenham. We may even do an early look ahead to Manchester United and in the Europa League final. But we'll see. We'll see. Look after yourselves. Go enjoy the rest of the sunshine if you're in England. If you're not, go enjoy the rest of your mornings, afternoons, or evenings, wherever you are in the world. And I'll speak to you all a lot more soon. Talk a lot more about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Peace.